Alright, back again. Camera angle is still up there and whatnot. So I've created the prop hub, or begun it. And the way this works is I'm going to glue this into the engine, and then this is going to spin. You can see it's just a length of wood dowel. I flattened it in the 4 positions where the propeller blades will go. Left the front end rounded, and then captured it with a couple of pieces of the birch ply that I popped out with a hole punch, and then glued to the post to keep this from wiggling in and out. And the hub fits over it like so, and then I cut out the prop receptacle areas. I might end up either eliminating this altogether and just going with a straight cut across here, or I might leave it, the way I did it here. Just have to widen them up a little bit. So I started working on the blades, propeller blades. Here's one, and these are not difficult to make. A couple of lengths of the 3/32 balsa strip, cut in a size to fit, larger than the blade itself. And then you trace the blade onto the blank, and then you cut it out with the X-Acto blade, and then start shaping. And the back side I shape with I use this heavier grit to begin to shape the blades. What I call carving is when I use a heavy grit sandpaper. And so the concave side, that's why I'm wrapping a dowel. This is the back side of the blade, and we want that a little bit concave. And then the top side, we use a sanding block, and you want to make sure you make a sharp edge for the back of the blade and a blunt edge for the front. Bring that a propeller blade is essentially an airfoil. So we got the leading edge of the blade is blunt, and the trailing edge is a blade. Right? Tips narrow at the top. Blade's thicker at the base. It attaches to the hub. And I added just a small piece of the 3/32 to each side of the blank, and then start rounding it with the sandpaper. And then the filler comes in over the top, the spackle, to fair these in. And now a bit of the spackle, it wasn't quite dry when I started sanding, so I'm going to go back over these. Here's one where it more or less worked. And you can see how that fares in to the blade, and a little bit more will be added, and some more sanding will be done until the blades are correct. And that's how we do that. Go ahead and just keep this in here, insert it to the motor. Okay, so now I'm just going to go over these with a bit more of the spackle first, and just make sure that they're all filled. When I come back to sand this, I showed you the how I make the blades, the back of the blades, a little bit concave by using the wood dowel, but this is not the grit paper I want to use after I've got spackle. It's more, a 180 grit. I mean, 120 would be the coarsest, but more or less it's going to be starting to be a 180, and then 220, and then up to the 400 grit to get these polished. So for now, I just want to go back in here and fix the places here, like where I broke some of the filler, chipped it off because it wasn't dry. So we'll just go back over that spot, fill in this one, a little more dry paste on that, get that the right consistency. And yeah, that's what we're going to do now. I'll show you how I made the hub, the prop hub, in just a second. because I didn't know what I was going to do, and I had an idea, and there she is. I mean, there's not a whole lot to it, but mostly it was just the trick of drilling it out in the center. And to be honest with you, I didn't do any measuring there. I just eyed it up, marked one eyeball, a little bit of luck, and we got pretty much dead center on both cuts, on both holes that I drilled. I know, right? I probably couldn't do it again if I tried 50 more times, but we got lucky, and I'll take it. So here I'm just refilling this one where I sort of damaged it. You want the air to get to these on both sides, so it's best just not to lay them flat on something, but to tilt them up against another surface so that the air gets to both sides. Alright, so I'm just going to wet that a little bit. This one was pretty much okay. So on this one I'm just going over it. That dog. That is not my dog. And that dog never stops. Alright. That's enough. I'm just going to apologize about the barking. Can't help it. Can't do anything about that. No, once again, not my dog. And here we go. Get that one filled in, and then here's the other one I kind of tore up. So filler back on this one in the key areas. Back to front. Let it dry this time properly. I remember when my dog first learned how to bark. Alright, so there's that. Now, should I carry on or shut it off? What do you think? Alright, I'm just going to shut it off. We talked about the prop hub already. I showed you what I did there. Yeah, we're just going to... That dog's not going to stop.